Tear your tickets, take your seats. It's time for popcorn spoilers. I'm Dylan Bowden.
I'm Ryan Betson.
And we have reached almost our destination and our road to the Oscars.
Our penultimate episode.
Oh, so today we are talking about...
You're standing on another microphone.
And I'm standing on another microphone. Today we are talking about the final of our Best Picture discussions. 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. And we'll also be doing our Oscar predictions for the ceremony on US May 4th, which I believe is this coming Monday?
Correct. So it's normally the day after, isn't it, where it sort of works out?
Yeah, so it'd probably be airing around midday in Australia. And then they replay it at night as well, so you can recap. Well,
it doesn't matter because you'll get, as of previous years, you just get spoiled the shit out of throughout the day. There's like every news is like at your Facebook. If you wanted to hold out till the night, you're gonna find out.
You're gonna find it, even if you don't care. You're still gonna find out.
Yeah.
So this, of course, is 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. So shall I begin with the plot synopsis?
Please do.
Okay. I'll give you the short version, then I'll give you the long version.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Because I think that it's concise in the small version, but then the bigger one kind of opens it up a bit. So, a mother personally challenges the local authorities to solve her daughter's murder when they fail to catch the culprit. All right, so that is technically... That's the skeleton of the story. That's
the hiccups.
That's the setup. But this is the broader synopsis. So, after months have passed without a culprit in her daughter's murder case, Mildred Hayes makes a bold move.
That's a bad idea. I just drank water that's been sitting here for like 2 days. That was a bad idea.
Painting 3 signs leading into her town with a controversial message directed at Bill Willoughby, the town's revered chief of police. When his second-in-command Officer Dixon, an immature mother's boy with a penchant for violence, gets involved, the battle between Mildred and Ebbing's law enforcement is only exacerbated. Now, again, this is really just the setup. What makes this movie so incredible, I'd say, is the journey that it takes after that. So, it's directed by Martin McDonagh, who'd also directed In Bruges and 7 Psychopaths, which I'm pained to say that I've never seen.
We did a naughty, and we downloaded a copy of it like way back in the day, and it was that dirty one that if you put it in your PS3, it's like after 20 minutes it goes, and then it will just crap itself out.
For what?
I know, it's part of copyright protection. It would actually just mute the audio after 20 minutes.
Oh, wow. What movie?
7 Psychopaths.
7 Psychopaths. Oh,
I started it because I'm like, yeah, this is going to be dope.
Damn. Every time it's my go-to, like, oh, what should we watch that I haven't watched? It's supposed to be awesome. In Bruges. And like this week as well, I've got them both ready to watch, and I just couldn't do it. Yeah,
because you saw this movie a little while ago, so you had some 3 days.
Yeah, that's right. So I wanted to kind of get the backlog. Yeah, I saw this movie, I don't know, about a month ago maybe. But yeah, so it stars Martin McDonagh, directed by Martin McDonagh, I should say. And he's an English guy, might I just add, because it's a very American movie.
It is very.
Or at least it comes across that way. It stars Frances McDormand, Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell, Abby Cornish, and Caleb Landry Jones, as well as Peter Dinklage, who I didn't include on the list.
That was a nice surprise cameo.
Yeah. It started out as a cameo, got a little bigger as it went along. What did you think overall of this movie?
I fucking loved it. Like I knew going in that I was going to enjoy it because I saw the trailer however many months ago, and I'm like, all right, cool. But granted, I thought this movie was gonna be like some lighthearted fun with a sort of a serious tone. I was like, okay, cool. This is gonna be, you know, the way the trailer sells it. It's like they use a lot of the quips out of the movie to sort of grab your attention. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna expect to probably laugh a lot in this film. I didn't laugh a lot. I did laugh but the movie was way darker and tonally different than I expected. But I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, loved it. Yeah, again, I saw the trailer. I'd never heard of it before, and then
the name alone caught my attention.
Yeah, and then the trailer came along, and I'm like, that looks just. I could completely understand what they were going for, and like in the movie, straight away you side with Frances McDormand's character because you understand, or you can kind of put yourself in that position of what that must be like. And then when she's just like this relentless force of just like fuck everyone, it's awesome. All right, so let's talk about. I mean, it is spoilers, so it's hard to say. Let's start with. I guess the movie itself is mostly about assumptions. So as the audience and as characters in the movie, you make assumptions about people. And then this movie gets to a certain point and completely blows that out of the water.
What I loved about this movie in particular, speaking of the characters, is the character complexity. Where no one in this film was inherently good or bad. Everyone sort of had this weird mix of both. I say weird's the wrong word, but there was a mix of both. There was some slight hypocrisy to some people's behavior and what they said and what they did, and you know what I loved about it is it showed everyone had a complexity. That's probably the easiest way to explain it, and I like that a lot. So characters that I thought, we'll get into the spoilers in a moment, but characters that I was like, fuck you, became a turnaround. And same goes with, you know, Frances McDormand's character, the main character. There were times where I'm like, that's unnecessary. See your point, but you could have handled that differently.
Yeah, totally. So to explain it in better terms, essentially...
Thanks.
Well, no, your point was valid, but the movie itself, I don't think we've kind of gone through that.
Yeah, no.
So essentially, as the trailer shows, the movie takes place after the events off screen that you don't see, where
7 months prior.
Yeah, 7 months prior, Frances McDormand's mother character, her teenage daughter was raped and murdered and burnt alive, or burnt when she died. It was unclear, but burnt. And the police didn't find out who it was or what happened.
What's going on?
The trail went cold.
So that Craig came in here the other day and he's kind of dicked around with the mic.
Messing it up. And so she decides to take it upon herself to put up 3 billboards consecutively. It was on like a back street of the town, but what I didn't realize is that it's like literally out front of her house when the sheriff comes around. So the billboards say, as you progress to each billboard, there's different things that make a sentence, or more or less. So the first one says, raped while dying and still no arrests. How come Chief Willoughby? So she kind of calls out the police and says, you know, my daughter's been raped and murdered. You haven't done anything about it. You know, you're kind of these redneck, hillbilly, semi-racist kind of cops. You know, going around, you don't see the events as well, but there was some kind of altercation between a coloured man and the deputy, Dixon. And I think it was in custody as well.
It's what's heavily implied, yeah.
Yeah, so they're a bit dodgy, or their morality is ambiguous. But, yeah, she calls them out, which causes Sheriff Willoughby, which is played by Woody Harrelson, to kind of go and address it and like say, look, I understand, but there's not much we can do. And she's like, well, I'm not taking him down until you fucking do something about it. He reveals that he has cancer, which most of the town already know, and he thinks that will make her go lightly on him, even though he's like, I'm not saying it to go lightly on me, but I got a lot of shit to deal with at the moment. He's got a family with 2 kids and 2 daughters and his wife. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, fucking sort this shit out. And then, of course, there's the Officer Dixon, played by Sam Rockwell, who is this incompetent idiot who is like the fat, dumb deputy who he's throwing like lollies in his mouth and completely misses. He's reading comic books all day. He's got his feet on the desk at work. Just says stupid things. So they start out in these positions, and then as the movie progresses, they completely take this turn. So Frances McDormand starts out, the town's very torn between, you know, the people who love the sheriff and just back off and leave him alone, he's dying of cancer, and then there's the people who are like, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, and you know, your daughter's been murdered and you want to kind of find closure for that, or seek redemption, or take vengeance out on people. and it's the clash between those kind of two ideologies of the town. So what I really liked about it is Frances McDormand in the trailers again is just the Terminator.
Relentless.
Like, she is no nonsense bullshit. She walks into the police station and she's like, "Hey, fuckhead," and talks to one of the officers, and the other's like, he's like, what? Dixon, and he's like, you can't call him, so come here and call somebody a fuckhead.
What I love is like, because this is the same thing. It's like she's coming in, she's like not a disrespect for authority, but sort of just like, do your fucking jobs. And comes in like, oi fuckhead, and he's like, what? The guy's like, don't answer when someone says oi fuckhead.
Yeah,
I actually like. That's the like of all the little quips in the movie, like that got me like the proper giggles. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But there's all the idea is that she'll just come, like as I said, she's like a tornado, just coming in, just making a mess and like just trying to get shit done. Now, granted, as we said, like her behavior seems valid in terms of, you know, you want to get an outcome, you're going in the right direction. However, as someone, you know, as people that work in like a call center, and you know, I had just been bombarded by some bitch, you know, like hours before I came home to watch that movie, or you know, went to watch the movie. So it was just like, I'm like, ugh. And then they're all trying to like stress her, like, look, we're trying to do our job here. You're actually making it more difficult for us to do our job. I'm like, God, I can relate to that so much.
I can see it from both sides.
Yeah, I can see it from both sides. And I'm like, yeah, like you got a good point. Like, you know, why is there an arrest? But I'm like, yeah, well, it's kind of the job, and that adds to the complexity I was talking about before. Yeah,
and it's again seeing the arcs that these characters take during the movie. Like, there's this moment towards the start of the movie, or it's about, I don't know, quarter way through, where Frances McDormand's character is going to the dentist, and the dentist is kind of semi-threatening her, like, you know, we like the sheriff in this town.
It's set up in a previous scene that two people have made complaints about the billboard, the lady with the bung eye and the fat dentist.
Fat dentist, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, so they're setting up this person's already got a disdain for her.
And so she goes in, is getting like a root canal or something like that, and he's very threatening in that he's, you know, I'm not going to bother putting up too much.
He's like, we have to pull out.
Knockout gas, that one's fine, we'll just go straight to it. And she picks up on that vibe, so she flips it on him and gets the drill and drills it into his hand, and he's screaming and lying on the floor, and she just spits her water out in his face, goes back to work, has got a numb mouth, and then the sheriff turns up and is like, did you just drill a hole through the dentist's mouth? He's like, no. And he's like, what's that? And she's like, no, that's what I'm talking about. So anyway, they take her in for questioning, and Dixon's in there, and she's like, you know, talking about his racism and stuff like that. And
once again, a great little quip. And so Dixon is the one that's sort of accused of they refer to as the torture of a black person,
battery of somebody in custody.
Yeah, and she essentially along the lines of trying to get his arc up, right? And she's like, so how's the N-word torturing going? He's like, hey, it's called people of color torturing. Wait, yeah, it's like he's an idiot, just an idiot.
Yeah, and she does a lot of like sticks to him, like, does your mother know you? You know, aren't you going to go home to your mama? And she's like, she knows I'm out, and I told her I'd be home at 12 o'clock. Or it's like, you've been practicing with your mama doing these things?
As you practice your mum making you more confident. Which, you won't know this, but the woman that plays his mother plays a character in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
She plays Mac's mum. But what I love about her in this movie is because in Always Sunny, like, she never talks. She just grunts.
Okay.
Like, she's like, oh, she's happy. You know, smokes cigarettes the entire, just sits there, smokes, and then just bees like a bitch. And like, it was cool to see her in something else, but she was still pretty much the same bitch.
Yeah, and he does live with his mother, and she's a pretty hard woman, and you know, you can kind of see where his upbringing's come from. So in the scene that she's getting interrogated by Woody Harrelson, not really, just questioning, and it's kind of like he's laying down the law to her, and she's backing up, not backing down, and standing up to him, and then it reaches this point where all of a sudden he coughs, and blood comes out and splatters all over her face, and his reaction and her reaction like completely turn the tables, where he's like, oh God, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
And she's like, I know.
And she's like, oh, it's okay, baby, it's okay. And she completely turns into this like maternal, caring mother.
But
even though she's sternly against them.
That's what I love about it in terms of the complexity of the characters. Rather than being like, how dare, she's like, holy shit, no, you're genuinely fucked. All right, please, I'll be right back. I'll get something. I mean, like, if she truly didn't care, she would just be like, you know.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I love about the character.
And that was an awesome, just a small moment of kindness that kind of broke down her facade for a moment. And then you get to Woody Harrelson's character. So Woody Harrelson is like the good sheriff, the nice guy, loves his kids and family, and almost probably even before the midway through the movie, like maybe I don't know, the 40-minute mark. He has this wonderful day with his family, takes his daughters out fishing, goes off with his wife and makes love to her in the fields, as far as I understand. Have this beautiful lunch. He comes home, kisses her goodnight, lays her down, writes a letter, puts it down, and then he goes out to the stables and shoots himself in the head.
That was unexpected for me, to say the least. Like, because when he's out there with the horse, and he's got the bag in his hand. I'm like, what's he gonna do with the bag? Like, why is he fiddling with this bag? And then he puts it on his head. I'm like, oh fuck. I mean, it was just. Well, we're getting into territory, into massive spoilers now. I think that it's like it was fucked, but it's like when they have Woody Harrelson do the voiceover.
So he leaves these letters.
Yeah, so as he's reading these letters to his wife, and I was like, oh. It was heartbreaking, and it was, but like the way it was written was just like, somber but confident, and it's like and it's people a lot talk about people that are like sort of suffering from like cancer and all that sort of stuff, and that they don't want to have their family suffer around them, and as he sort of talks about in the letter, the whole idea of we had the greatest day we ever could, and I don't want you guys to see me as the broken man I will be in a couple of months, and all that sort of stuff. And then, I was like, fuck, man. It was so, like, this is when, like, the fun was all kind of, nth degree crazy, and like, and then it got real super fast. Yeah. And I love it because it kind of changed the tone of the rest of the movie. It was a really good switch. Yeah. And then from that point, of course, so his letter, and like you said, the letters, it's bittersweet in the way that he's saying these things. So obviously he was in a good place, and he didn't want to see his family to see him suffer or get sick with therapy or anything like that. So he leaves a letter for his wife. He leaves a letter for Mildred, the mother, and he also leaves a letter for Dixon, the deputy. And his letter to Mildred, because before that, somebody paid to have the... Yeah, so the whole... This is some establishment we probably should have mentioned. So she's purchased these billboards. We come to learn that she's had to sell, some vehicles at her house. Her ex-husband's farm equipment to be able to pay for the 1 month of the billboards. So then, as she's having a discussion with the guy that owns Ebbing Advertisements, which, funny enough, is the weird hillbilly from Get Out. Caleb
Landry Jones, Red.
So and then they have the idea of it's gonna cost you a lot of money. Thanks, Craig. So the whole idea of hey, how are you gonna pay for it? As part of the contract, this is what it was. I'm sorry, but this is
the police are trying to find loopholes in the contract. Yeah, putting pressure on the advertising.
Exactly. Agency. So that there's a discussion earlier. So how long she paid out the thing for? He's like, yeah. It's just like fuck. They can't get out from under it. And then a mysterious wad of cash rocks up and pays them out for the next 2-3 months. I think they say. It's about $5,000 is what was in the envelope. And then it comes to when Mildred's reading the letter written to her by Willoughby, and it's on the lines of, "Hey, look, I did give a shit about your daughter. Don't ever think that I didn't. And for that, people will assume that you caused this with those billboards, but just so you know, that's not the case. And just for a laugh, here's that money was from me. I thought it'd be funny just for you to have those up some more. Just don't let anyone kill you, all right?"
Yeah, be careful. And that's awesome. And it's good that she had that as proof to kind of back it up. That's what I was always saying, because I was worried the town would just blame her or whatever, but that she didn't. So when Dixon hears the news, though, he
gets a lovely sort of father to son.
Well, before even that, he just snaps, because he's late to the party to know what's happened.
See, this is interesting as well. So there's he's blissfully unaware, being the sort of like, I can't think of the right word, but sort of like this beautiful innocence that he is. It's like, la la la, headphones on, dicking around, doing what he does. And then everyone comes into the station, they're all sad. And he's like, hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? Cuts to him broken. Like, he is broken. And like, you can clearly see that this is a kid that's lost his father figure. You know, even though he's pretty incompetent and pretty like sort of does what he feels, you know, very like loose. You can clearly see that the death of Willoughby has an effect on him. So clearly a man that doesn't know how to control his emotions. As far as he puts two and two together, Billboards, dead father figure, Billboards, advertising agency across the road, proceeds to go across the road, beat the shit out of the kid, what's he, Red, and then throw him out a window, punch him in the street, walk back inside.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was
all one shot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was all in one shot.
I think there's like
possibly. I remember the falling out the window.
I couldn't pick any cuts.
Yeah, and like he like rolls out the window off the like balcony part, and then lands on the street, like all in the one shot. That's like incredible.
It was a very cool shot, and like I do think it was a one take.
And just as the new detective, the new sheriff turns up,
new chief,
new chief.
He's also an African American man, by the way. Just to add insult to injury.
Exactly. So he gets kicked off the force, and goes home, is depressed.
Oh, once again, another great scene. He's like, hand over your badge and gun. He's like, all right, I'm sorry, man. I may have lost my badge.
That's right. So just an incompetent idiot. So he goes back to the police department to pick up some of his things, and a letter's left for him from Willoughby as well. And he reads it, and at the same time, Frances McDormand has taken it upon herself to Molotov cocktail the police department to make give them a sign. Little does she know that Dixon's inside, and what's even dumber is that he's an idiot, so he doesn't know the police department's on fire behind him.
This is insane, right? So that he's literally sitting on the desk reading the note from Willoughby, looking the opposite way to the fire. Shit, it's just like he's got headphones on. The front of the police station is being bombarded with Molotovs, right? So it's like lighting up. And funny enough, we had a fire drill at work today. I was when we was talking down there with a buddy of mine. He's like, "Yeah, I was once working in this office, and there's a machine like the server room, and it had like a backup generator little thing in there, and apparently the generator gave out. There's like a like an alternator that recharges itself. The ball bearing slipped out, just fucking got caught, proceeded to get red hot and just catch shit on fire." He's like, "I was in a room over there. I had no idea. I turned around, opened the door, and there's just smoke." And I'm like, okay, maybe the movie is right. You can just not notice there's a giant engulfing fire.
Maybe it would have been hot. Who knows? But in the letter that he gives him, it's kind of this letter that says, listen, you know, you're misguided and things like that, but you know, I see things in you that you might not see yourself, and I think you've got the makings of a great detective if you just applied yourself and, you know, focused your energies to things that, you know, are important. And as the father figure, he gives him this kind of pep talk in the letter to, you know, kind of make a change in his life. And he, you know, nobody's believed in him. His mother definitely doesn't. He's like, you know, just a hick, nobody that's never going to be anything. And his big thing was becoming a cop. And then when he lost that as well, he had nothing left.
Yeah.
So this kind of peps him up, and he thinks, you know, maybe I can make a change. So he saves the files for the murder case and rolls out the thing on fire. And that's when Frances McDormand realizes, shit, there was somebody in there, and that she's taken things too far.
Yeah.
And then, which leads to a really beautiful moment where he's in hospital. Dixon's in hospital. He's got burns on him. He's bandaged up, and he gets put in the same room as Red, the advertising guy. And he's like, "Oh man, you must, you know, he's got a broken arm, broken leg.
Yeah, he's all cut up and beat the shit.
Should definitely check it out."
Well, so Justin, hey Justin, how you doing, my friend? When 3 Billboards came out, it looked really good. Just haven't got around to seeing it, dude. You're gonna really enjoy yourself, man. Truly. Really damn good. But yeah, so like they're in the room and they're like, so Red walks up and he's like, "Oh man," because like he's all bandaged up. He's like, "Man, you look like shit, man. You're right. Like it's pretty gnarly, dude." And
but even like he's like, "Look, I look horrible.
Yeah,
but you're even worse, man. Are you okay?"
And Dixon sort of, you know, having, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry for what." And he's like,
"Can I get you a drink or anything?"
He's like, yeah, he's like, "Can I get you a drink, man? Like, you like." you're right. He's like, hey man, like I'm really sorry for what I did. He's like, wait, do I know you, man? Like who are you? And then on the lines of he's like, yeah, I didn't mean to throw out. Like I'm sorry if I threw out the window. And then this guy has a near fucking panic attack. You know, he can clean him like, fuck, no, why are you in here? No. And then after, like, shortly after, he still goes over and gets him a drink, gets him a juice, puts a straw in, turns it his way. And this is that same moment of, like, complex characters, man. Like it's the sort of the main aim, like, quote unquote, the main aim of the movie is for them to sort of be like, you know, these people haven't done their jobs. These people are evil. They have not done their jobs. But I think the biggest thing about this movie is the discussion of not everyone is mean. Not everyone is evil. Not everyone is bad. Like, sometimes they do, you know, different things, but...
Well, sometimes you might do something wrong or something
that's
bad.
Probably the best way to explain it.
But it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. One thing doesn't always necessarily decide who you are. And it's also about, you know, the different ways that Dixon's angry at the world, and he might be lashing out at other people. Mildred's angry at the world and she's lashing out at people. But anger, like her husband John Hawkes, who was an abusive husband, and now he's got this teenage girlfriend, says anger begets anger. You know, like, through her acts of anger, it's just causing more pain to people. And even though it's driven her
anger
to
causes
do
more
this,
anger, whether it be internally, whether it be externally.
And, you know, that's not the way, but through small moments of caring and kindness, that's the kind of way that you come to peace with things. And you know, that's the way to deal with things. You know, give love to people and accept people for who they are, or look beyond just the facade of people to kind of find the good in everyone. Which is really a powerful message, and not hammered home in, like, this is the theme of the movie. And the other thing the movie doesn't really do is, it's not like, you know, like, here's Act 1, or here's Act 2, or here's Act 3. It kind of starts with a setup, and then the characters just kind of go on their own journeys. And there's character arcs for the characters, but it's not really like, now we're going to solve the mystery, now we're going to do this. And it even does get to a point where Dixon thinks, overhears a guy talking about, you know, a very similar, ridiculously similar situation where somebody was raped and murdered by this guy and he burnt them. So pretty close to it.
Yeah.
And Dixon starts his redemption where he deliberately listens into the conversation, goes out, checks the number plates, comes back in, sits down with the people pretending he's more drunk than he is, listening in, and he scratches the guy in the face purely to get the DNA of the guy under his fingernails, but then knows that he's going to get the shit kicked out of him, which he does, then goes back home, and before anything, while he's fucked up, gets a sample of the DNA, which is like Batman genius. Like, detective work.
Instantly turned me around on the guy from then on. Like, I understand he had a lot of self-loathing after, you know, losing his job and all that sort of whatnot, but I'm like, yeah, you kind of deserved it, you piece of shit. Then he got set on fire. I'm like, well, you didn't really deserve that. I don't know, look, granted, you don't deserve being set on fire. And then he's like, okay, this is the catalyst to me being a good person.
Yeah.
This is my comeuppance, and this is what I'll do to fix it.
And then, just when you think, you know, like, that's the guy and they've solved the crime, and he's like, I don't want to get your hopes up, but I think we got the guy. They say it wasn't the guy. Like, he obviously must have been a rapist because he's bragging about it, but he's not the rapist that you're looking for. But
they imply that he was, you know, out of the country. He was deployed at the time, so he like doing some sort of abhorrent war crime where he raped and burnt some innocent women in the other side of the world. Like, that's how I interpreted that. And then,
I never really thought of that.
Yeah, and that sort of puts the ending of it as in, like, look, this isn't the guy, but this guy is still a piece of shit. Do you want to get, like, buddy up and sort this dude out? And, like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and that's where the movie ends in a really ambiguous way, where Dixon and Mildred get in the car and they're like going to track this guy's house down. They're going to go down and probably kill him.
Yeah,
interstate. And then along the way, he's like, you know, do you think you can go through with this? And he's like, I don't know. And both of them have their doubts, but they're like, I guess we'll find out when we get there. And it's a really interesting ending.
It's a great ending, because, like, I was concerned that they would have the resolve would be like, and he's arrested.
Yeah. And have they really learned their lessons of, like, anger doesn't solve everything?
Yeah, it's good. That's a really good way to look at it as well.
They're like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. The other person we didn't really mention was Peter Dinklage in it.
Yeah, so Peter Dinklage is sort of this, just the dude in town, sort of. Like he's playing pool with Red earlier on, and everyone's giving him shit because he's the little dude. That's sort of what his character is at this point. He's rocking the mustache from Days of Future Past for some reason.
He does. And he's got a thing for Mildred. And he
happens to arrive as the police station is being bombarded with Molotov cocktails. So as this guy's being burnt on the street, he patting him out, getting out the fire out of him, and then proceeds to then back up Mildred and be like, no, she was with me. We were just wandering around the corner, and that's what we happen to see. Yeah,
and covers for her. So she, because prior to that, he's shown interest in her, and she's like, I'm on a crusade. I don't give a shit. So she goes out to dinner with him in a sympathy kind of way or a thank you kind of way, and he's really trying to be nice, and they kind of are trying something, but he says, I'm a dwarf, I'm a nobody, everybody laughs at me, but who are you? Like, why are you such on your high horse and things like that?
And Mildred, whoever, like the woman that never smiles.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a good kind of reflection of them to be able to look at themselves and be like, I don't stop to take that moment. And so he starts out as like, oh, he's Peter Dinklage for no reason, and then he really becomes a part of the story as well. And
that's something I love about this movie is everyone had a purpose. I mean, even her son, who had very minimal time, I think he still sort of showed a greater depth to the family dynamic. Where he sits in all things, and the whole idea of it is, because it is very much a focused look on her and Mildred and how she's dealing with this tragedy, and then and they do mild focuses on focusing on him to sort of be like, this is how he is dealing with the loss of his sister.
Because it's like, where he's like, you're taking it too far. It was my sister. I don't want to be reminded of this.
Like every time we drive down this street, I have to think about this.
Yeah, and like the way he stands up to his father with the knife at his throat when he's...
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, again... So Caleb Landry Jones was in Get Out, of course, but even the kid, what was his name? I looked it up. Lucas Hedges plays the son, and he was the gay boyfriend in Lady Bird.
Man, there's a lot of in sort of weirdly incestuous acting going on.
Getting work.
Like a lot of people that are in there that's at least 4 or 5 people that are across many movies that are all getting Best Picture. Like, these guys are going to have work for a very long time.
Cross-pollinating.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, the part that I really liked is when somebody threw a drink at her car at school when he was dropping her son off, and she's like, who the fuck was that? Was that you? He's like,
okay,
no.
I'll explain. Okay, so they Chief Willoughby has just died at this point. They've pulled up to the front of the school to drop off her son. A can of drink proceeds to bounce off the front of her car. You clearly know which kid did it. You clearly see. She's like all attitude, walks over. Hey, did you throw the can? Nah, punts him in the dick. And then there's a woman next to her, like a girl. He's like, well, do you know who threw it? She's like, no. Punts her in the vagina. Yeah. It's awesome.
Like, did you throw it? And she's like,
punt
right in the crotch.
Yeah, and then the third dude's like, I'm out, man. And just kind of walks away. Like,
yeah.
Awesome.
And even the way she stood up to the priest that comes to her house.
Yeah, the priest comes like, look, we like the chief, whatever. And then she has this big monologue about how there was rules in the 90s for when the Bloods and Crips war was pretty out of hand. If you were in any way involved with this group, if someone was to get shot and it was a gang war 2 blocks over and you just happen to be in the neighborhood, you're minding your own business, you are liable.
Oh, well, if you're part of the gang.
If you are part of that gang and you are 2 blocks away and you are minding your own business.
You've got nothing to do with it, but you're part of the gang.
You are part of the gang, and therefore you are part of the situation. Therefore we can, the law was set that you would become involved.
Yes.
And then sort of along the lines of just insulting this guy for being a priest, saying, look, you may not have done horrible shit, but you're part of that gang and I'm going to label you the same. So who the fuck are you to come into my house and tell me what's right?
Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
Mind you, there's something that she's hammered at this point and comes home and has this massive diatribe. So, like, it's awesome.
And if she probably listened to the things he said, she might have been better off overall. But yeah. Yeah. All right. So, what overall thoughts? What do you think?
Like I said, I think it was fantastic. I think every actor in the movie brought something, and they added to the overall movie experience. Like with a lot of movies, it's like, okay, you're the you find that there's the main cast, like the main 2 or 3 people where the focus is, and everyone else is mildly filler. Right?
Yes.
With this, I felt every actress played a role, and they all helped progress the story further, and that comes in the way of just helping different characters show different parts of themselves, allowing different characters to grow and show complexity. Like when the movie started, as an example, like I in no way did I expect to relate to Dixon in any possible way. I did not expect to see him as the understanding. I thought he would be that bumbling idiot that would eventually just get busted as part of the process. However, it turns out that he in fact is someone that was sympathetic. You can be sympathetic towards. Granted, you get sympathetic towards him, and then you realize he's a piece of shit again, and you come back, and I love that as well. Like you come to learn that, oh yes, he's done horrible shit, but it's a bad example. In the same way with like Black Panther, right? The villain is like Michael B. Jordan's villain is so good because you can understand where he comes from. You can understand his issue. You can understand the sympathy of his actions. And I agree that Dixon's the same way. You understand why he's doing what he's doing. Yes, it's completely wrong, but I understand why you're doing it. Same goes for Mildred. You're like, your actions are probably not the best course of action for the result. However, I understand where you're coming from. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I should mention, like, I want to clearly point out as well, I think this is the most interestingly written movie out of all of them, to be able to deliver some quality laughs, some very serious messaging, as well as a lot of a hidden subtext. It's probably like the least Oscar-y movie out of the lot.
Ooh.
I say that because we look at like Get Out, and it's commentary on sort of the African American plight at the moment. Then we've got the Shape of Water, so fucking weird. Then you've got Call Me by Your Name is there because of its homosexual qualities. Like, I'm granted it's a pretty good movie too, but like there are movies that you see are sort of ticking boxes. There's war movies. There's a drama that says a lot about society in terms of The Post. I felt that this message didn't have anything to say. It was just a damn good film, and I think by receiving the awards that it has, it's being respected as a damn good movie, rather than for its context, for its messaging.
Interesting. I really love this movie in just the experience of it, and it felt very filmic, like you're watching a movie, the definition of a movie.
I thought this movie was based on a true story. The way it's delivered, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. Like, I had to look it up to see if it was based on a true story, because it's not like a movie, like not written as a structured movie where it has a beginning, a middle, and end, and then wraps up, or characters are one-dimensional. It seems, like we said before, like it sets a scene and then kind of just goes with it. And so the events in the movie kind of feel like it's not written, it's just how it really happened. So movies that are true stories don't necessarily follow that logic, because life kind of just goes where it goes. Yeah, so I thought, man, this must be like a true story, or based on a true story, but it wasn't. It was just like a concept that the writer came up with, and that he's an English writer and director. So he said that, he traveled around America, and it kind of came to him as he was in America. A similar kind of thing with Billboards like that happened like 20 years ago, and he remembered it. But that it feels so American and what I imagine would be authentic to those kind of small towns, and you feel like you get a sense of the place, in kind of like Black Panther with Wakanda. You kind of really feel the temperature and the mood and the surroundings, and get a real sense of the place and the people as well.
Like, there's a reason that in the title it's not just called Three Billboards. It's called Three Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Because you get to they don't show you a lot of the town, but you do feel that you get to understand the town a little more. Like, you see where it's at. And, and like, I think it's this situation wouldn't happen in any other town. But you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't like, this situation wouldn't happen in New York, as an example.
No, but any of those, small town kind of middle class kind of country towns in America. And of course the incredible performances by pretty much everyone was on the ball. And Frances McDormand's just like incredible. She's 58 and still going strong, and just instantly grabs you like the character does. Like seeing the trailer and seeing her in the movie, just instantly like you like sit up straight. You're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, it kind of hits you in the face with just how imposing she is and driven, and how great the performance is. So I don't know if it's like best picture material.
Okay.
I'd like it to be, but then again, there's a lot of issues between. There's been a lot of controversy about this movie being not pro-racist, but it does shed those kind of police characters in a racist light, and in a time when, you know, Moonlight won last year, which was a heavily African-American movie, and this year with Get Out, which is a heavily African-American movie, does the Academy want to, you know, kind of support that? And even though Dixon's is obviously like, that's not cool, that's not a thing you should do, and he becomes a different person, it's still part of it, you know?
Yeah, but I think it's part of it for a reason, not in like a preachy messaging kind of way, because these things happen, man. Like in country American towns, like I'm sorry, but it's very likely a lot of them are racist. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or have racist histories.
But then what is the message at the Academy? Because they're very much about prestige.
Fuck cares? Like, it's a good movie. Like, that's the thing. I understand where you're coming from, but I think that's sort of throwing into this whole situation we have on the internet, where no one can understand the nuance of a situation, understand the nuance of a conversation, understand the nuance of a film. Like, you know, like, it's only in the extremes. He did a racist thing. But, like, think about the context of the movie, like, where it's going, where it says, like, I'm boycotting this because of this one thing. Or, that movie should be praised solely for that reason. You mean? And I disagree with that. I disagree with that in terms of the extreme side of things. Do I agree with racist shit? Fuck no.
Well, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that.
This is
but
more
I
of an
think
event at the situation.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, do I believe racist shit? Fuck no. But do I think it helped tell an incredible story? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't, this guy's racist at the start, he's still a racist at the end, therefore this movie's pro-racist. No, it just added context to a character. It helped show that this dude is a damaged, broken dude who was wrong. The whole point of the movie for him, like, they're explaining that, that his actions are wrong. At no point do they at anywhere condone the torturing.
They make light of it.
They make light of it, yes. But, like, what fucking world are we in where we, you know...
You can't make light of torture.
You can't make light of anything.
But
apparently.
I think because the Academy is such in the limelight, and especially with all the controversies going around Hollywood...
That becomes pandering.
Well, that's what it is.
That's worse.
Well, that's why people make these political movies to pander to the Academy.
This is exactly why I like this movie compared to the rest, because it's the least pandering to the Academy, and I think that works in its advantage. That's why I love that it's nominated, because it isn't that usual Oscar bait stuff. Like, example, Daniel, the Phantom Thread. That movie is pandering to the max. It's artsy wank that's only there because of a person that has an incredible history within the industry, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm going a bit ranty here, but that's what I love about this movie, because there are some known actors in there, but it's just a good movie. Yeah. And that's what the Academy Awards should be, not about what they can say. It should be just a understanding. Like, this is why, Logan, one of the greatest movies to come out last year, I personally believe, and I think that's a movie that should have been considered.
It was nominated.
But not, I think it could have been best picture of the year in terms of looking at where the franchise has been, looking at how you would process, how you would comprehend a superhero movie, and they come out with Logan, an incredibly well written, well made, well acted drama piece. Like, none of that seems like when you think superhero movies, you think the Avengers, you think, Justice League, you think mindless action, all this sort of stuff. You don't expect the depth and the breadth that we got from Logan, and knowing that Phantom Thread, this wank of a movie, gets a nomination where something as marvelous and a genuinely good film across the board, everyone agrees it was, a great movie and well done. Like, that is what should have been there. And that's what makes Three Billboards better, because it doesn't fit that mold.
Yeah, and I think because it's made by an overseas director, that it has... that I don't have to appease anyone. I'm making my own personal vision kind of movie, and it falls into that budget of, you know, I want to do 100% creative control.
Mm.
I want to use my actors that I like. I'm not going to use, I have to have Tom Cruise in it, or I have to have Cameron Diaz in it, or I have to have whoever the fuck, Jennifer Lawrence. That it comes from that perspective, that it's not trying to pander to that. It's just making a story about the human condition told in an interesting way with compelling performances.
Agreed.
And that is our thoughts on 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Apologies on the bit of the old rant there. A little bit passionate.
Well, we're getting ranty now because what he should have saved is for our Oscar predictions. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. So, now let's talk about our Oscar predictions.
Now, of course, we're not going to go into like best international movie.
Yes, we are.
We are.
Best short film, best document. No, not really. Just the big one. So we're going to talk about best actress, best actor, best supporting actress, best supporting actor, best picture.
Do we written? Do we dive into the written and the sort of the
written? Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Screenplays and stuff.
Bit of music, bit of the visual effects.
Yes.
We can make a comment on that. So
for those of you that are watching, be sure to jump in as well. What you think where we're at?
Yeah, put your predictions down below and we'll find out.
We'll note down your predictions if you have one. Even if you're watching this video post going live, leave a comment below with what you think your predictions will be, and we'll see how we go in a week. See what happens.
Excellent. So let's have a look. So, all right, let's do this. So, our Oscar predictions. Stop stealing my notes. I see your eyes shifting over there.
I was curious in why there's only 2 nominations. Okay, don't worry.
Lots. Okay, so we're talking about Best Actress.
Yes.
Okay, so these are the nominees for Best Actress. Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water.
Okay.
So she was the mute girl,
yes.
Eliza. Now, she has been nominated once before for an Academy Award for her performance in Blue Jasmine for the 2014 Academy Awards.
That. Yeah, I
believe that was the Kate Blanchett movie.
Yeah, it was. I haven't
seen them. And of course, now in The Shape of Water. Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Of course. Now, she has won once for Fargo in 1997 Academy Awards.
Yeah, of course.
Which was her big breakout.
Fantastic film.
As the pregnant police officer with a Canadian A. She was nominated in 1989 for Mississippi Burning in supporting role. 2001 for Almost Famous in a supporting role. North Country in 2006 for a supporting role.
Let's take too long. Keep moving forward.
No, we keep doing it. Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, never been nominated before. Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird.
Yeah, she was also nominated for Brooklyn.
Yes, nominated for Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role and also Best Actress in a Supporting Role for Atonement in 2008.
Okay.
Okay. The Streep.
Do not go through the Streep.
I'm going to go through the Streep.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Okay, so the Streep has been nominated. Let's have a look. Let's count them up. 1, 2, nominated, 1, 2, 3, 19 times. I'm just going to say it's 19 times because it was. Nominated 19 times from 1979, 1980, 1982, 83, 84, 86, 88, 89, 91, 96, 99, 2000, 2003, 2007, 2009, 2010, 12, 14, 15, 17, and 18. She's nominated for The Post this year. She won in 1983 for Sophie's Choice, 1980 for Kramer vs. Kramer, and 2012 she won for Iron Lady.
She's only won 4 times?
3 times. Nominated 19 times, won 3.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. Most people barely make it to 2. So that is the lovely Meryl Streep. Okay, who do you think?
Okay, who do I? Okay, so I want to narrow this down to 2 ways.
Okay.
So we've got a pen there with 4 colors. Pick 2 colors.
Red and green.
Red and green. All right, I'll go blue and black. I want to. Let's look at who we think will win.
Oh.
And who we think will win and who we want to win.
Okay.
I think Meryl Streep will win.
Yes.
Because reasons.
Okay.
Yep, just because she's Meryl Streep. But I would want Frances McDormand to win.
Okay, you'd want Frances McDormand to win.
Yeah, so we'll go black for want.
Let's just choose red and green and put a want and think.
And then put an R and a
You're
D
confusing
next
me with the colours.
That's all right.
Okay, so Frances McDormand is who you...
Right. Ryan.
Green is want. Green is good.
Yep. And then put an R next to it, because that's for me.
Ryan, yep.
Yep. And I do think
The Streep.
Meryl Streep will win.
For what? The Post.
I don't think she did anything miraculous in the Post. Right. I think she was more than sufficient. Okay. However, I think it's one of those. It's Meryl Streep. Give her an award.
Well, they give her a nomination, so that's what she always gets. Sally Hawkins, no, for The Shape of Water. Frances McDormand, yeah. She's the one I reckon. I want her to win, and I think she will win.
Oh, you're going to give her the both?
I'm going to go the double. I think she will. Like, Margot Robbie.
I haven't seen I, Tonya, but first time nom. She's got like an interesting history.
But people felt like it was like she's trying too hard. And I, Tonya didn't get nominated for anything else other than actress for what's her face, Channing. But we'll get to her in a minute. Alison Janney. Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird is poo on a stick. All right,
that was fine.
Done. And the money's going towards Frances McDormand. That's what people are guessing.
I would agree with that.
All right, Best Actor. Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name. He was the young boy.
No.
Enzio? Whatever it was.
Enzio? Hey, someone subscribed while watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Sorry, there is normally a sound notification, but
we probably didn't hear it. Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread. Now, he has won 3 times. He's been nominated 6 times. 1 for My Left Foot in 1990.
1 for Lincoln?
1 for Lincoln in 2013, and 1 for There Will Be Blood in 2008. And he's one of the greatest actors of the history of the world. And he did have that awesome scene. Like, have you got a gun? Do you have a gun? So that's pretty good. He's funny. Like, I can't think of any other movie this year. You know where you do the Gollum and everyone's doing Gollum voices, or Joker, everyone's doing Joker? That's my go-to. I'm going to bust it out. Nobody's going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Ever. I don't know anyway. Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. He played Chris.
Yep.
Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. He played Winston Churchill.
Yes.
And Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire.
What?
Yeah, I had to look it up. He plays a lawyer. It seems like it might be a real story, might not be, but it's not nominated for anything else. And I've lost my page now, so we're all.
I'll get it.
We're ruined.
You tell me what you think.
I can read it from there. Not. I would say. I've forgotten. Oh, Gary Oldman. Duh. Gary Oldman, easy. Any day of the week.
I want and believe that Gary Oldman will win.
Surprisingly, Gary Oldman has never been nominated for. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, he was nominated for in 2012.
Yeah.
Like, he's done incredible movies. Like, The Professional, Sid and Nancy. Like, he does all these weird jump into live in the moment roles, and he's only been nominated for 2. That's crazy.
I think in terms of just incredible performance, I think he should and will win.
Should and will.
Yes.
All right, let's do Gary Oldman then. So that doesn't work. Gary. These pens are confusing.
What the
We're having some technical difficulties with the pen here. I want green.
Alright, so hang on. So oh, fuck's sake. Fuck this pen. How you all doing at home? Enjoying your time?
Might I also add that Denzel Washington has won 2 Academy Awards. One for Glory in 1989 and for Training Day in 2002. So he's had his fair share.
Who's your picks?
Gary Oldman. Any
both?
day of the week. Yep. There's no way he's not going to
win. Put a red D in there.
Double D. Because it's Dylan twice. That's the only reason.
Excellent.
Okay, Best Actor. Done. Okay, so now Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
Mary J. Blige for Mudbound. Yes,
I my brain went straight to Hit 'Em Up. Like Mary J. Blige, my brain went to Hit 'Em Up style.
Let's get it bumping. She also is nominated for Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures for the song from Mudbound, which is called Mighty River.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's a mud-related river movie, maybe. Alison Janney for I, Tonya. Never been nominated before. She's from The West Wing. Incredible. And, I'm going to just circle that one for now. Alison Janney,
I think or you want?
I want her to win.
Yes.
I want her to win green. Dylan. Leslie Manville from Phantom Thread.
No.
You don't even know who it is?
It's the I assume it's the actress, the woman in
No,
there?
I thought it was a woman as well, but it's a sister. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Laurie Metcalf, the mother from Lady Bird,
Yeah.
and Octavia Spencer, the lovely assistant black woman from The Shape of Water. Now, Octavia Spencer has won an Oscar for The Help, was nominated for Hidden Figures.
Oh, Hidden Figures was fucking awesome.
And, of course, for The Shape of Water now.
That's a toughie. Because, like, I think she was great in The Shape of Water, but I don't...
Academy Award great?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to give it to the Ladybird mum.
Okay, yeah. She's the dark horse.
Yeah, I think I would like her to win, so that's green.
Yeah.
But who I think will win? Probably the woman from Shape of Water.
Really?
Yeah.
The Water Shaper. I'm going to sort that up. The Water Shaper. Where is she?
Only because of the... yeah, right on the bottom there. Right there.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because, once again, out of everyone you've listed, I think her and even Mary J. Blige, like, she's the only one that's received previous nominations.
Well, Mary J. Blige is a singer, of course, but she has done some acting. Okay, Best Supporting Actor.
Your pick was the same person, yeah?
Yep, double Janny.
All right, cool.
Okay, Best Supporting Actor, Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project. Dafoe was nominated for The Shadow of a Vampire in 2001 and Platoon in 1987. He's never won. Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. He's been nominated for 2. The Messenger once before, and The People vs. Larry Flint, 1997. Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water. He was the gay artist.
Yeah, he was good.
He was nominated for The Visitor in 2009, and for this, of course. Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World. So that's the Ridley Scott movie where they shot the entire movie with Kevin Spacey in a role, and then they fucked Kevin Spacey off and reshot all the scenes with Kevin Spacey with Christopher Plummer, and then Christopher Plummer got nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, sick burn.
Yeah, so take that, Kevin Spacey. And Christopher Plummer was nominated in 2010 for The Last Station, won in 2012 as the oldest actor to win an Oscar at 82 for, what was it called again? Beginners, that's right, where he came out as gay late in his life. And now he's 88 and nominated for this movie.
Damn.
And then finally, Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Ooh. That's a toughie. I want Sam Rockwell to win. But I think, like, to me, it's between him and Woody Harrelson.
I'm gonna go Sam Rockwell as well.
I'm gonna do a double. I'm gonna do a double as well.
You're gonna double down on
I'm
Rockwell?
gonna double down on the Rockwell.
Oh, okay. I'd like to double down because I love Sam Rockwell and he needs to get out
But
of the
in
indie
terms of the
space.
character development, I think people will see that development and see that he's, However, but once again, that racisty thing you sort of mentioned, it's likely that Woody Harrelson will probably win it. But I'm gonna stick to my double.
I was moved by his performance as lead thug in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was also incredible in Galaxy Quest and also Moon and Charlie's Angels. I'm going to have to go Sam Rockwell.
Do you do a double?
But I don't think it. In my heart, I don't think it.
If your heart you don't think it, then you don't think he's going to win.
All right. I probably think this Christopher Plummer thing is going to reinforce the hatred of Kevin Spacey. And he's old.
Oh, okay. You're the plum dog.
Yeah, I think Edelweiss is going to win. From Sound of Music, Christopher Plummer. Okay, so that's that. All right, now we're on to Best Director.
Weird reference there.
That's the only thing. I'm like, holy shit, that guy was like fucking... That movie was like 1950 or something, and he was old then. Which makes sense. He's like 40 now. Well, kind of. Anyway, Best Director. So we've got Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk. He was nominated... Best Picture was Inception, and Best Original Screenplay was Inception in 2011. He also was nominated for Best Screenplay written directly for the screen for Memento in 2001. First Best Director nomination, and he is like the director of our generation, really.
Okay.
Get Out by Jordan Peele, who has never been nominated before.
That would be nuts if he was to win.
Get Out. Who else we got? Bear with me. Just talk a little about Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan's great. He's got a good history with the Dark Knights and the Batmans. But like Inception was really good, and Prestige, and okay, you good? Yep.
Yeah, good. Lady Bird, directed by Greta Gerwig, and she is also nominated for Best Original Screenplay for Lady Bird. Phantom Thread by Paul Thomas Anderson. Now, again, he's like one of the top tier latest 10-20 year directors. He was nominated for Best Director for There Will Be Blood, Best Writing Adapted Screenplay for There Will Be Blood, Best Written Adapted Screenplay for Inherent Vice in 2015, nominee for Best Screenplay Written Directly for the Screen for Magnolia in 1999, and Best Writing Screenplay Directly for the Screen for Boogie Nights in 1998. Never won, though.
Okay.
And then finally, The Shape of Water for Guillermo del Toro. He's nominated for Best Writing Original Screenplay for Pan's Labyrinth and Best Foreign Language Film of 2008 for Pan's Labyrinth.
Okay. Now, isn't there a rule about Best Director and Best Film? Isn't there?
Yeah, they say that they never both win.
They never both win?
Rarely. There's been a couple of years.
I thought it was the other way, where I thought it was it's very likely you win both.
No, it's unlikely. The director and the movie
Shit,
are both.
Okay. Well, in that case, Ooh, you're gonna have to help me out here.
I would love Guillermo del Toro to win. He's just an awesome dude.
Put me down for a greenie for I want Guillermo to win. Like, I think that movie had a really cool look to it, and I think that comes down to sort of the direction of the film, I guess. So I give it to that. But
but then again, these awards usually, or sometimes, can be like, we didn't give you awards for movies you were good in.
That's why I think Christopher Nolan will win.
Oh, really?
Yes, because he's like, look, you've got a really solid history, and you've never won. I think this is the DiCaprio. This is your time.
Yeah, this is. Well, I think that he's still got goods in him. Like, he's
course
still
he
got
does.
about another 10 good movies in him that could win him Best Picture. That will be better. Lady Bird. Phantom Thread. Again, Paul Thomas Anderson is one that's been nominated many times for writing.
He's got a good history behind him, but really.
Yeah. No fucking way. Of course. Phantom Thread is shitballs. Shape of Water, Dunkirk, Get Out, director.
Tell us the thought process.
Get Out's a pretty good one. Like, for a directorial debut.
See, but that's the thing.
And it is like a well-directed movie.
It is an incredibly well-directed
Good
film.
Performances, good tension, good pacing.
And a good breakout performance as well.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Get Out does well, but I also think, once again, when it comes to the Academy, they do have patterns. And part of that pattern is very rare do people win on their first try.
It's tough. Dunkirk's balls as well, so...
Give it to Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele, I reckon.
Do you reckon you want him to, or do you reckon he will?
I reckon he will.
Okay.
Because
you wrote dude. That's you.
I was trying to fuck it up. You got me. I don't know. Guillermo del Toro, I'd like to win. People say he will, but I don't know. But I would like him to. Yeah. The other ones are shit.
Once again, going from history.
Yeah, and he is a visionary director, as trailers say. All right, Best Adapted Screenplay: Call Me by Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, Mudbound.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? Best Adapted Screenplay for Logan?
Well, it's a comic book.
Because it's partially based on a comic book.
Well, it's based on an existing property, so that means they didn't create original characters. Lazy Scott Frank and James.
All right, in that case, as I had my Logan rant before, I want Logan to win. Give Logan the greenie.
Do you think it's the best written movie?
No, but I don't think Call Me by Your Name is. I haven't seen Mudblood or whatever it was.
Disaster Artist.
Apparently, Disaster Artist was well written.
Well,
and seeing as Franco didn't get the respect, didn't get his noms.
So you want Logan. So what do you think will win though?
I'm gonna go Call Me by Your Name.
Just
because it's the only one that's nominated for Best Picture as well. They're not going to give Best Adapted Screenplay to someone that didn't get Best Picture. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I'm struggling to remember what my first initial is.
I'm being very cynical.
I think Molly's Game will win because Aaron Sorkin is like a master
I know it's
of
Aaron
writing.
Sorkin. Okay.
So I'm going to go Sorkin on that one because...
See, I'm being very cynical, as in the terms of like, it's when the best pictures are in there, they'll sweep. You know what I mean? Very rarely is it a broken.
Well, it's not Call Me. It could be Call Me. It's not going to be The Disaster Artist. That's a given.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it to Logan because there's other movies that are probably more nuanced. Mudbound seems to be popular, but I don't know what it is. Disaster Artist, no. So
and Justin agrees on Logan. Fuck you, Justin.
Logan.
You want one of the good ones.
Yeah, I'll go Call Me by Your Name is what I reckon it will be.
Yeah, I mean, once again, because like when you hear about it, like La La Land wins 6 Academy Awards, and you don't hear like the winner of the Best Picture only one award that night. Best Picture, like, no,
yes,
never happens.
All right, Best Original Screenplay: The Big Sick, Get Out.
Oh man, I still want to see The Big Sick. Here, it's really good.
Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
All right, I want 3 billboards. That's a given. I want 3 billboards.
As a written.
Yeah, because I think the movie was, as I clearly mentioned, with the movie was incredibly well written, and how it may sort of combine comedic with some quite somber, darker tones.
Okay. What do you think will win though?
What are my options?
The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, Shape of Water, 3 Billboards.
I'm gonna give it to The Shape of Water as a should win, because I think it's
movie.
I think it's I think it's probably the most interesting story I've ever heard.
Yeah,
and the most unique story.
Get
Out or 3 Billboards, says Justin.
Ooh, does he now? Get Out.
Write these down, Justin, so we can make sure you can get your due.
I don't know. Get Out is really well structured.
You win.
And incredibly deep. And
once again, a lot of that nuance, a lot of that sort of multi-layered.
And I think that comes in part into the writing.
Yeah.
As well as great direction. I would say that, but 3 Billboards is incredible as well.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Fuck. I think it will be Get Out, but I would like it to be 3 Billboards.
Okay, good. I like your thinking.
Okay. All right, these ones we can speed through. Best animated feature.
Who cares?
Come on, let's do it. It's Coco. Fuck it. What else we got? Oh, and the other one I wanted to mention was best visual effects.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. All right.
So, Blade Runner 2049, Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2. Is
just
how
one, Guardian.
That's what they wrote. Kong Skull Island, Star Wars The Last Jedi, or War for the Planet of the Apes?
War for Planet of the Apes.
I don't know if the other one won. Blade Runner.
But then again, if the other 2 hadn't won, like the growth in technology between those 3,
Kong
like the
Skull
saga,
Island's pretty good.
No, the answer's War.
Star Wars. What do they have?
Spaceships and shit.
Mars Canal.
I feel this is always the given. They're like, look, we'll never actually nominate a good sci-fi movie as best picture, but
War for the Planet of the Apes should win best picture.
Fuck yeah, sure, it was good.
I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yep. You think?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a double. I'm gonna double downy on that one.
But I would. Oh, that's the wrong way. I think it's gonna be Planet of the Apes. I'd like it to be Kong Skull Island because that means more attention.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
It was fun.
And sound editing.
Oh, and Justin's on War for Planet of the Apes as well.
Nice. And sound editing is obviously going to be fucking Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Which no story and no fucking characters. All right, so best picture time. Now we've gone over this many a times.
Can I borrow a pen and a bit of paper? Because I want to rank these as I go. Because I'm actually just curious.
Right, do you want to take that thing?
Okay, cool.
Take a list.
Cool. I'm gonna write them. So these are the total as we go. So we've got Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. All right, can I borrow that one? So
okay,
this is I'm gonna write them in order of how I think they should be. So obviously 10 is the Phantom Thread because it's hot garbage. I'll give it Dunkirk gets the 9th. Call Me by Your Name gets 8th. Let's see. All right, this is how I'm gonna go. So
Yeah, it's good to work your way from shittest to best.
Yeah, it's actually easy that way.
You just eliminate a whole lot.
Oh shit! Hang on. Like I put 10 in there, so as if we're starting from fucking 10.
What is it? 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So hang on. So 1, 2, 3.
Was it
4,
9? Was it 7?
5, 6, 7. All right. This is my ordering from worst to best. I think the worst film was so 7th, Phantom Thread. 6th, Call Me by Your Name. 5th, Lady Bird. 4th, Get Out. 3rd, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Dunkirk's 9 still.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? Okay, in that case. Alright, in that case, Dunkirk is 7. Oh, fucking colours. Dunkirk is 7. Phantom Thread is 8. Number 2, Darkest Hour. Number 1, The Post.
Oh.
So therefore, I would like The Post to win. But actually, no. I put that as number 1, but I kind of want 3 Billboards to win.
Do you?
Yeah.
So what did you put as 1? Post.
Yeah.
2. But what is your think and what is your hope? So there are 9 movies. I don't know where your number went.
Because I started from 10 for some reason, because I'm an idiot.
So where's 9 now?
Oh, what the hell?
1, 2,
All right,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right.
Everything has a number next to it.
All right, you do this. You make your list, and I'll go from there.
Okay. All right. Let's work backwards from hot garbage.
9?
Yeah, it's 9 apparently. Let me
All
count.
right,
1,
cool.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Yeah, 9.
Cool. You say yours out loud as you go. Then.
All right. Phantom Thread. Bow, bow. That is a 9. Then we go Lady Bird. Bow, bow. That's an 8. Yeah, Call Me by Your Name. I don't know why they were calling each other by their names. I can't even understand the title. 7. Oh fuck! I forgot about Dunkirk. That's hot garbage. I love hot garbage. I'm gonna say that all the time.
Pick that up from me, haven't you?
You just said it. The Dunkirk is 6.
Rank your 8. Rank your 9 too, Justin. Let's get in there.
I hope he doesn't mean best picture for that Dunkirk. 6 Dunkirk. So let me just eliminate them so I can see. I'll cross that out. Cross that out. Cross that out. Cross that out. Then probably 6 would be
Okay, if you want to rewrite yours
The
here
Post.
as well.
Yeah, I'll do that. 6 is The Post. 5, 4, 3. How the fuck this up?
That's what I'm saying. Try that way. Try like that. All right. So Justin has mentioned Dunkirk. I certainly hope it's not put there as his best picture.
Maybe.
So this is move your hands just so I can get my. No, you keep writing, but just so I can read my list. So this is my readjusted list, as in now that we've got them all laid out. So Phantom Thread is the worst. So 9th Phantom Thread, 8 Dunkirk, 7 Call Me by Your Name, 6 Lady Bird, 5 Shape of Water, 4 Get Out, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, 2 Darkest Hour, and number 1 being The Post. And so the reason I've picked The Post is that Justin, I've only seen Dunkirk, so that's going to be my best picture. That's a solid way to look at it, man.
Not if it's Dunkirk.
So the reason to put The Post at the top is like I truly enjoyed the entire experience. I thought it was fantastic. And I mentioned in the review as well, I do have this weird sort of odd love for journalism, and I liked the rush of them going out and trying to do things and trying to do it. However, knowing that Spotlight won like 2 years ago, sort of the same premise as like a bunch of reporters trying to get a story. That's why I don't see it winning.
All right, here we go. 10 to 1, 9 to 1. Number 9, Phantom Thread, Lady Bird. Number 8. Number 7, Call Me by Your Name. Number 6, Dunkirk. Number 5, The Post. Number 4, The Shape of Water. 3, Darkest Hour. 2, Get Out. 1, 3 Billboards.
Yeah.
What I would like to win is Get Out.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What I think will win, I honestly think 3 Billboards will win.
Ooh. Ooh. See, that changes because look, as much as I loved, See, like this is the conflict for me, because I would like to see Get Out win. 'Cause I think that would be an incredible first picture. You get yourself a best picture.
And that it came out in February and was remembered at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that means something.
Yeah. It's like the Deadpool of...
All right. Well, break down a bit more of your thoughts while I dive into this.
Okay. Phantom Thread, like you said, is just poppycock wank. Lady Bird is like way overrated. I'm not a teen girl. I get that. But it was just bore fest. I've seen better stories like that told better. Call Me By Your Name, while immersive, was kind of like creepy. Old man, young boy. But then again, like, Arnie Hammer looks like he's 50. But he's not. Dunkirk is straight up an experience, not a movie. And for what he was going for, he achieved it. But that's not for everyone. And that's why it sucks. Post was good. Spielberg. But it was kind of like, even though it was really well done, it was like still cookie cutter. Like, I got Meryl Streep, I got Tom Hanks. It's a controversial movie. I'm Spielberg. You know what I mean? Shape of Water is, for someone as original as Guillermo del Toro, felt like a bit of like his greatest hits. But for people who haven't seen his hits, then they'd be like, oh wow, this greatest hits album was fucking incredible. And I'm like, yeah, because it's the greatest of hits, it's not an album. Darkest Hour was like the Academy movie that I was like, wow, I'm glad I watched that. If it wasn't nominated, I wouldn't have watched it, but because it was, it is. I watched it and I really appreciated it, and Gary Oldman's phenomenal in it. And it's got a good message to it. Is about the times now, but about then, and it had like a good stand up for yourself kind of moral. Get Out is really layered and well done and clever, and because it's a thriller and because it's a horror, I'm like, that would be amazing if it won, because it's working on a different level rather than a straight drama. It could be too on the nose, but by putting it in that context, it really works well. And it's a thrill ride. And 3 Billboards just feels like different. It feels genuine and honest and real, even though it's not based on a real story. And the performances are incredible, and it has a nice message to it without, this is the message.
Yeah, and for that reason is why I want 3 Billboards to win.
Ooh.
I want it to win. However, I do feel the Darkest Hour may come in for the win. Once again, due to the incredible performance and due to it being a very Oscar-y movie in terms of its time and its messaging. Yeah. Justin's jumped in again, and he has said, I would like to see 3 Billboards win, but I think they're going to pick Dunkirk. Once again, for the picture, because it's a film. And that's why I think the Darkest Hour is number of a film.
All right, we'll store this all in our time capsule, and we'll have a look at it next week.
Do you want to clean it up and put on get me to make like a new document for it, or do you want to just keep it on these random pages?
I might take a photo and send it to myself, and type it up. So that has been our road to the Oscars for 2018. There's been some ups and downs.
It's been a good. Like I said, it's taken a lot of time away from my gaming. It's made it very difficult to review games in this time. But I am glad I do it. I'm glad this has come back after stepping away and not being able to do this last year. It's been good to do the Oscar journey again.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
It's good.
Plus, I like breaking down movies. I like seeing you do your specialty, which is destroying movies.
And it's good because even if you look back on years and like what is the best picture, what are the 100 movies of all time, they're usually the best picture winners. But to see the nominees of the other 10, like to go back to 1981 or 1962 and watch the other 5 that didn't win, you're in that caliber of kind of movies, and you get some really interesting movies that aren't necessarily on the top 100 lists.
Yeah, saying in terms of like movies that I would never have seen. Like if someone told me like, hey, you want to see a movie about Winston Churchill? I'm like, no. You know what I mean? But like, I'm glad that I watched it. I'm glad that I really enjoyed it, and it's nice to see new up and comers get their acknowledgement with Jordan Peele and just some interesting movies. And there are movies that I kind of wish I never saw.
All right, let me pitch these to you.
Okay,
wrap it up. These are the pitches. If you were either an executive being like, we're gonna make this movie, could win Best Picture. It's gonna be nominated. This movie is gonna be nominated for Best Picture. Mr. Producer, will you produce it? So it's a movie about a guy who lives with his sister and makes dresses.
No, what?
It's called The Phantom Thread.
Why?
Because it's gold. All right, okay. Check this. It's about a girl who calls herself Lady Bird, goes to high school and hates her mum. It's set in 2012.
2.
It's set in 2002 though, which was the big year. You like that? No. Okay. What about this one? It's about a guy who fucks an apricot. He fucks an apricot.
I like how you're just picking and choosing. Like,
it's not a comedy.
The real picture that would have been, it's a love story between an older man and a
guy
younger boy.
fucks a apricot.
Okay, I wouldn't find that.
And then he feels a bit ashamed about it. Okay, Dunkirk. It's about a bunch of people with no names sitting on a beach all day waiting to get picked up by other boats.
No, you're not selling any of these really well.
What about this one? These guys work for a newspaper. Remember those? And they print a story.
Remember those?
They're thinking about printing a story for like an hour and a half. And then they do decide to print it. Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, they print it.
It's about a woman who's mute and she fucks a fish. It's a talkie. And they dance.
It's a talkie.
They dance. It's a talkie. There is talking, but not from them. Darkest Hour is about an old fat dude from Britain, and it's a war movie.
It's an old fat dude that fights a war.
And he eats breakfast and smokes. Get Out is about how much black people hate white people, and that they're going to get you.
It's completely removed what that movie was about.
Pretty much. And 3 Billboards is about Yokel Hicks.
It's about 3 pictures.
An angry mum.
It's about 3 pictures that got a town really angry.
A menopausal angry mum and racist Hicks. These all sound good. I would sign off on all of these and I would have been like, yep, those would be best pictures. Not the one about transforming robots into cars.
If you liked what you've seen here today, be sure to like and subscribe. All that sort of garbage. We do make videos every Monday and Friday, including what you're seeing right now, as well as stream games on the Wednesday. But of course, all links are in the description below for our social medias, like the Facebook community group, where you can come and have a chat. We can break down these, and we'll guarantee to be talking about the winners come next week in that group as well. And if you like what we do enough, you can always buy the sweet merchandise, popculturist.com/shop, or if you want a little bit extra, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/popculturist. Couple little extras that might go your way, some exclusives. But until next week, for the grand ceremony, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Dylan Bowden, and for now, that is a wrap.